This is Tim Gallagher of the Sioux City Journal with Andrea and Austin Crew. And Austin has kind of become one of Northwest Iowa's most followed residents. Hashtag Crew Strong. And had cardiac arrest after a football game. What was it? Was it 2 Friday nights ago in Storm Lake?
October 13th.
Okay. Yeah. Spencer wins this dramatic game, 17-14. You join hundreds of other Tiger fans. You go on the field, then you do a victory lap.
Yep.
And then, getting into your car, suffered cardiac arrest. And the condition, Andrew, he was diagnosed with?
Left ventricular non-compaction cardiomyopathy.
Which means?
Which means that when he developed in utero, his heart muscle, instead of compacting into a thick muscle, stayed spongy or trabeculated in the bottom, and that just set him up for this cardiac arrest.
Which there was no symptomology prior to this. And you and husband Pete are here at home. Austin, one of your buddies called Mom as CPR is being performed, and there was a nurse that happened to be there. There was a
nurse,
a
teacher, and they performed CPR and saved his life. And then the paramedics and the police officers, brought the equipment, the AED, and they were able to give him medication that put him back into a normal heart rhythm. And the efforts of that community and the first responders saved his life.
Went from Storm Lake, flew to Sioux Falls, in Sioux Falls over the weekend, then to University Hospitals in Iowa City, which for these devout Cyclone backers was your first extended stay in Iowa City,
yes,
I'm guessing.
Yeah, my husband tweeted that we were entering enemy territory. But we were very thankful to be there.
Okay, and you were there Monday through Friday. You've now got a lead that's helping monitor.
Yep.
Okay, and so it goes through the arm, right?
They inserted it through the arm, and there's a lead that goes down into his left ventricle of his heart, and then the device helps monitor his heart rhythm continuously, and if there was ever to be another dangerous rhythm, then it would shock him and save his life.
And each night, you walk past or you stand by a smart box of some sort that records the data from your heart, right?
And transmits anything that's of concern back to his doctors. So.
Austin, you're a senior at Spencer. You're the homecoming king. You're the class president. You are the NHS president. You have a role in the musical Fiddler on the Roof, and you went back to practice last night. This is just an incredible storybook recovery thus far. And you went to school today and shared a message. We can, if you want to call that up now, and we'll record what you said to your classmates and peers at Spencer High School this morning.
So I wanted to take a few minutes to address the school about the recent events that have transpired this past week. As most of you know, I collapsed on the way to my car following the Spencer Tigers' awesome win over Storm Lake on Friday night, October 13th. My heart went into a dangerous rhythm called ventricular tachycardia, and I would have died if my good friends had not immediately called for help. By the grace of God, my heart stopped where there was help nearby. If that had happened just a few minutes later, I would have been driving in my car. If it would have happened anywhere else, I might not have had access to the emergency care necessary. And there were people here nearby who knew what to do. They performed CPR with chest compressions, ventilation, and shock through an AED that saved my life. I went to the Buena Vista Hospital where they stabilized me, and I got a helicopter ride then to Sioux Falls Hospital. They worked on stabilizing my lungs, which had filled up with fluid from aspiration during my resuscitation. And I wasn't doing so hot on Saturday, and they thought that I was going into respiratory failure, which has a poor prognosis. It was really then when things were looking grim, and everyone was praying for me. Those prayers changed the course of my illness. I actually got better, and my doctors and nurses told my family that it was a miracle. I want to thank each of you for the part you played in saving my life. I struggled again when I was extubated on Sunday and had a hard time breathing on Sunday night. Some medicine helped, and I became stable enough to go for an airplane ride to Iowa City on Monday morning. In Iowa City, I had a cardiac MRI done that showed the doctors what my problem is. I have a genetic heart condition that is called left ventricular non-compaction cardiomyopathy. This basically means the heart didn't form quite right before I was born. Normally the heart tissue hardens to a muscle, but mine remains spongy, what they call it trabeculated. I had an implantable cardioverter defibrillator, or ICD, placed which can deliver a shock to my heart if it ever stops again. And my cardiologist will be monitoring my heart for other changes that could develop over time. In the meantime, I'm on medicine to help my heart beat stronger, and I can gradually return to physical activity. And I know that you guys had a lot to deal with this past week. I want you to know that I appreciate all of your support in more than words can express. I felt overwhelmed by all the prayers, the cards, the posts and the tweets, and the fact that you all wore Cardinal and gold for me, even you Hawkeye fans. And finally, I want to encourage everyone to learn CPR. I personally have never taken CPR, but I'm now going to take a course in case I can save someone else's life. Because my doctors told me even doing something is better than doing nothing, so we can all learn to take CPR. So thanks again, and I'm really glad to be back.
That's Austin Crew, senior at Spencer High School. Well done.